Yes, on the left.
Yeah, this question is
Could you get
referred
quite
to the
close to the mic,
capitalists. Look at the third word where the capitalism isn't working at all.
Could you get a little closer to the mic?
Look at the third world where your capitalism isn't working at all. The people. You said the people cannot exist without any property, and I agree with that. What happens to the people who aren't born into wealth? You say they have to get their own wealth, and how they get their own wealth? By motivation. Where do they get the motivation? From energy. Energy requires food. Food requires money. They're not born into money. How are they going to get it?
Well, you could address that question to the people who lived in the caves. And how did they get out of the caves? The way people get out of those situations is by the very process that you talked about. It's a long, and slow, and arduous process to earn your way in life and to raise your standard of living. You know, in a sense, the thrust of your question is comparable to the thrust of an earlier question, which actually boils down to, under capitalism, what happens to the poor? And basically what I'd like to say is that there is a moral premise implicit in that very question when you ask it. Implicitly, you are expecting that when you point out the existence of the poor, that I will automatically understand that I have some moral obligation to sacrifice some of my values, some of my property, some of my energies, so that they may be better off. We have argued for rational egoism, for the virtue of rational selfishness. We reject that very morality. It is also that morality which is behind Professor Caplan's remarks that our view is mean, heartless, ugly, and miserable. Our view, you're welcome to your own opinion, but all I'm pointing out is that it is automatic to you that our view is such as that. The reason for that is because you are captured by 2,000 years of Judeo-Christian morality, which actually endorses the principle of self-sacrifice. And from that perspective, you would view what we are saying as ugly and miserable, etc. But from the argument that we have made with regards to the needs of human life and how that applies to every individual, we are arguing that the facts of human nature, in fact, dictate that men are individuals. They each have to use their minds. They own their own lives, and nobody has a moral right to use their lives for their own purposes.
I'm not ashamed to say I'm a Christian, any more than I think that Jerry would in any way want to disassociate himself from his religious background. I have to say to the young man that your question has made the debate for me. It gives me hope. I picked that up, Maclean's 4.5 million poor in Canada. That's what's before us. That's what we can't not see if we have any eyes at all. But your question points to all of the millions that we can't see, that we don't see very often. I think morality is involved in El Salvador and in all of the countries of the third world. I think it's very convenient for us if we can export our exploitation, our sex tourism.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. That's right.
That we can export the effects of our capitalist system into the rest of the world. And I'm delighted to know that there is someone who sees that they're there.